Would you say I have a reasonable understanding of how to execute these various sex acts properly?
Yes.
How awesome is that? What you're doing is disgusting. Listen, lady.
Hello, everybody. It's good to see you guys. I have not been live in such a long time. It is, look, I'm gonna have to refresh my memory about how to do all this again. But I've been having a fantastic time in Eastern Europe for the last 3 weeks with a few close friends of mine, and boy, oh boy, do I have some very interesting insights to share with you guys today from my time on the ground, in the field, out there, in predominantly the Ukraine and Romania while I was out there. Primark here in the chat, good to see you, my friend. As always, a regular of ours. And look, Davina's back with the Panda Man. Good to see you, Davina, as always. Say hi in the chat if you guys are tuning in. It's been a while. Look, I'm not feeling the best. I'm going to be honest. I've been absolutely invincible for like 3 weeks. Nothing was able to stop me. Operating at like 11 out of 10 on 0 sleep, just like energy drinks, and that's it. And now I've got back to America, and my body has finally decided to collapse into, in on itself, apparently. So you might be able to tell from my voice. But nevertheless, there is information that I need to get from my brain into your brain today. So, what I wanted to talk about is the observations that I made, the differences between Eastern European women and American women, or probably more Western women in general, because I'm pretty, all the things I'm going to say today in regards to, American women, you can pretty much use those same generalizations for Australian women, English women, Canadian women, New Zealand women, like Western women in general. Don DeMarco, good to see you in the chat as always. Marlon, good to see you again, man. Sam, Cody in the chat as well. It's look, I created a little spreadsheet for myself, so I remember to tell you guys all the little observations I came up with. So let's just crack through some of these. Thank you, Don. It is a very nice studio. We put a lot of work into this place. Now, in like the the men's online space, whatever you want to call it, the manosphere, the red pill space, the dating space, whatever the hell you want to call this sort of part of the internet that I've found myself in, or I associate with. There's a lot of dudes, particularly in America, who shit on, Western women, and sort of there's a lot of whinging and a lot of complaining about the state of women in the West, right? About, this sort of feminist society we live in, as my friend Rollo Tomasi would say, a female primary social order. And, it's kind of funny because I've lived in that my entire life for the most part. I've lived, like, the majority of the places I have lived have been Australia, England, America. I have traveled quite a bit, but I haven't spent, I've spent like 3 months, at a time in Brazil. I've spent a month in Chile, a month in Korea. I've spent time in these other countries, right? But I never really bothered to sort of take a step back and observe the way that men and women interact in those different cultures compared to my culture, I assumed naively that the Western dynamic between men and women was the default dynamic everywhere, and I sort of went through life assuming that, and until until the last few years of my life. And this most recent trip to Eastern Europe, I decided to sort of really step back and really observe the differences. And boy, oh boy, is it quite different. You hear guys, again, the same kind of guys you'll hear sort of bemoaning Western women in this sort of men's online space they don't really give a solution to that problem, because you can't really, what are you going to do? Completely hit the reset button on Western society? You can't really do that. So what is the solution for guys, who are looking for a woman who might be, say, more feminine, more traditional, less masculine, less combative? That's a typical trait of most Western women. Well, look, I don't want to be, don't want to get everyone's hopes up, but I have seen a bit of light at the end of the tunnel for the last 3 weeks. So I'm not going to blow smoke up your ass. I'm not going to say it's all sunshine and rainbows. So I'm going to give you guys the pros and the cons of American women relative to Eastern European and European women, and vice versa. So I think that's going to be a bit of fun. Got some more people in the chat. Boo to LA. I like that. I don't know what the context is. Did I miss out on something here? I look away from the chat for 5 minutes and you guys all of a sudden pile in and catch up on me. This is ridiculous. Good to see everybody in the chat here. Rubix, Cody, Don DeMarco. Look, I'm not going to do the Don DeMarco sound effect. Sorry, bro. Look, I'm not going to steal other people's thunder. That's a Myron thing. That's a Myron thing. It is the sound effect of the manosphere. Well, fair enough. Satoshi Nakamoto, founder of Bitcoin. Thank you very much for the courses. You're very welcome, sir. You're very welcome. Although you still haven't spent any of your Bitcoin in your wallet buying them. People would notice that immediately. Margot, I admire you, Stirling. Keep up the amazing work. Thank you so much. Samuel Moore says, I don't get the shitting on Western women when all the guys want to bang them all the time. Most of them are just complaining. I would agree with that, Samuel Moore. That's one of my first little pro-con observations I have for you guys. Let me just catch up on the chat here. I'm from the US and I've been on the search for an Eastern European or Asian woman. Well, you're not going to find them in the US. You're going to have to go to those other countries to find them, my friend. Because that's one real quick thing, a quick tangent. I'll go down here based on Daniel's comment. All the things I'm going to tell you today about the pros of the good parts of women in Eastern Europe, those immediately disappear when those women move to Western countries. So this idea of like, oh, you're going to find a good woman there and bring her back to America, that will ruin her. I guarantee that will ruin her. The system here, because women are social creatures. Women are like groupthink creatures. So they adapt to the environment that they're in. You can take a great woman from Asia, from Eastern Europe, whatever. You put her in America. A year later, she's going to be destroyed. Like she's going to be completely wrecked. So that's my first thing I'll say on that. I don't have much experience with Asian women, Ben. I'm going to be honest. I'm not attracted to Asian women. I'm going to be honest. So you'll probably never see me do an episode on that. So, Baizu, your escalation course has changed me a lot, my G. Thank you very much, sir. Very, very glad to hear it. Much appreciated for the feedback. Thank you. I will say, someone else mentioned here, Middle Eastern women are where it's at. Yes, I would also agree with that. Middle East. I've had experience with Middle Eastern women, and they are fantastic. They are lovely women. Yes. Excellent. Let's keep. I think we've caught up pretty much on everything I wanted to catch up on here. Yeah, this idea of this is kind of what we're talking about. Dudes want to fuck them without putting a ring on them. That's kind of like the pros. One of the major pros and cons. I'll start with, right? Like, say what you will about all the bad negative parts about Western women. Like, The major pro of American women, let's just generalize and say American women, right, is that you can have sex with them quickly and relatively easily with very little commitment. That is the major pro of dating in the West, is that for dudes, like, sex is pretty easy to get. However, it's becoming a bit harder for most dudes, though, because of, rampant hypergamy. Like, women are trying to get the top tier dudes all the time, and so the average guy is really not getting much. Like, dudes like me, dudes like my friends, we're getting not very hard for us to get laid, and so the spoils are all going, to the top. So what does that mean? It means, like, you're not going to get, not every dude is going to get partnered up with a chick and then have a wife and have a happy family, blah, blah, blah. The Western legal system makes that really fucking hard to pull off. It makes it damn near suicidal for a man to get into a legal marriage, right? Even to have a child in the West these days is damn near legal suicide, because the system is just set up to fuck dudes over with child support, spousal support, these kinds of things. So that is a massive, massive con on the side of American women all dating in the West in general. Now, in terms of Eastern European women, it is, I will say this first off the bat as a con to dating out there. It is harder to get a same night lay with an Eastern European chick. So I spent time in Ukraine. I spent time in Romania. Look, I'm not going to lie, I had a fair bit of fun while I was out there, and so did my friends. However, there was, like, some of the guys I was traveling with, like, they were only getting blowjobs, while I was getting, I was on a bit of a lucky streak. I was getting laid, but these are dudes, like, if you guys have any idea of who I was traveling with, you'll know that the dudes I'm traveling with are not schmucks. They're fucking lady killers, and some of them were only getting blowjobs, right? We'd go out, we'd pull girls, we'd go on dates, pull them back to the house, whatever. I'd be getting laid, they're getting a blowjob, whatever. That's a normal occurrence if you're only, like, on, like, the first night. So typically you have to put and invest in more time in women in Eastern Europe, right, before you can get to sex, right? So that is a typical con. That makes sense. That's a consequence of, a natural consequence of all the pros that you get along with Eastern European women, right? So let's talk about some of these pros, right? Their society in general, so Ukraine, Romania, like, it's set up in a way where there's a default level of respect given to men that is not given to men in the Western society. As a dude, women, like, by default are respecting you by virtue of the fact that you are working. You're going out there, you're making money, you're a man, you're being masculine. And, Eastern European dudes aren't massive fucking cucks like most Western men are. So they're actually stepping up, working. They fight. They all learn how to fight, and they train boxing in school and this kind of shit. There's a masculine energy to their nation. Cool. So that creates this dynamic between men and women where there's a default level of respect given to men. You don't really have that in the West. In the West, we've pedestalized women. So there's this dynamic in the West of, you have to prove your worth to the woman. Which you kind of have to do anyway, but, like, even in Eastern Europe, but it's like, it's this pedestalization. It's like this idea that women are better than men is shoved down everyone's throat here in the West. Whereas in the East, everyone understands that the man is the leader of the household. They understand that dynamic. The women understand that they are to follow his lead and serve and obey. And it creates a really healthy male-female dynamic. It's so healthy. It's fun. It's relaxed. It's not combative. It's the correct polarity. She's being feminine. You can be masculine. Everyone fits into their natural role. It is so much simpler, I want to say. So much simpler dating in Eastern Europe. And I was only here for like 3 weeks, but I got my fair share of experience out of that. And let me give you some more context on why I think it's much, much easier. So so I was hanging out in Odessa. So Odessa is a beach kind of vacation party town on the coast of the Black Sea in the Ukraine. So it's not like a major hub. People go there to go on holiday. People go there to have fun. So it's not like a major, regular city like Kiev or something. However, this information I'm giving you is based upon not only my experience, the experience of the guys I was hanging out with there, and some of the local girls that we know from Ukraine who are giving us their sort of take, who are kind of based and a bit red-pilled themselves. So they were giving us their take on this. And women basically, no joke, this sounds bizarre, but women are basically just sitting around all day waiting to be asked out on coffee dates. Let me say that again, just so this sounds retarded, but the women are literally just sitting around all day, or walking around in the mall, in public spaces, waiting to get asked out by dudes. Eye contact is a big thing. They're given eye contact. If they see a guy they like or they're interested in, they're going to give them eye contact all the time. And it's just in the West, you don't see. Yes, Ukrainian women are beautiful. Yes, Ukrainian women are hot. Cool. I think most people are kind of aware that Ukrainian women are known for their beauty. But it's not so much that. It's the fact that the beautiful women are out and about. You see them everywhere. In America, let's take here, Miami, right? Miami is a city known for its beautiful women. I live in probably one of the hot spots of Miami for seeing beautiful women walking around. Even then, it's not that common to see super dime, 9s and 10s dressed up really well, walking around getting coffee. Yeah, I'll see them in the Target. Maybe I'll see them exercising, but they're not dressed up to get attention. They're dressed up because they're working out or they're going shopping. They're dressed more casually, right? In the Ukraine, these chicks will be 9s and 10s will be dolled up, dressed nice, just walking around, sitting on a park bench, hanging out in public spaces. Why? To get men to come up and approach them and talk to them and get their attention. In the West, they're trying to avoid that. They're actually trying to, they avert their eye contact, they look at the ground, they don't want to be talked to and approached in the West. In Eastern Europe, they welcome that and they're inviting that. That was one of the biggest dynamic differences I noticed being in the Ukraine, especially, and Romania as well, if I'm being honest. There's just an openness to being approached there that you don't really get here in the West. And the other big thing to observe from that is so the women aren't working day jobs because they're hanging around during the middle of the day waiting to be asked out. Women aren't going to university in the Ukraine. Their life goal is okay, I'm beautiful. I'm going to capitalize on this beauty, get myself a good, high quality man, and I'm going to wife him up and I'm going to have his kids. That's the life plan. In the West, it's I'm going to go to university, I'm going to get a career, blah, blah, blah. So in the West, women aren't available during the day for dates. They're either working or they're hungover. No, that's literally the case. If they're one of these sort of baddies, they go to the clubs all the time on the weekends, or they're out partying all the time, they're a really attractive woman, they're probably hungover for most of the part during the middle of the day. So you can't take these girls out on dates. In the Ukraine, that's not the case. They're a lot more classy. They can handle their liquor, but they don't try to drink too much liquor as well. They try to keep their classiness about them. And so, yeah, they're available so you can have multiple dates. You can light up back to back coffee dates if you want, very easily, because they're even on Tinder and stuff. They're just ready to go. There's a lot less setup that's required. It's hey, you and me like each other. Let's go on a date and see if we gel. And it's really quick. You can get them out on a 30-minute coffee date, see if you guys gel, whatever, and then set something up for later on. And yeah, in America, that is logistically, it is a lot harder because women are out working day jobs or they're hungover from the nightclubs. So that's another really big thing that is basically in your favor as a guy. And obviously, as a guy who has who has a flexible schedule, who's available to do that kind of thing during the day because I kind of have passive income. So that's obviously a big plus in my department that's working in my favor. So, been ranting for a minute here. Let's catch up on some of this chat. See if I missed any really cool insights before I move on to some other cool insights of my own. Backlund Bob, Sterling Cooper, you're the only guy with receipts in the red pill. You and try. Well, look, I try. I'm not a dating coach, and I never claim to be. I'm just some dude who can get laid. That's it. Oh, thank you, Arden, for the reminder. He says, "Do you have a backup account in case this one gets deleted?" Tell you what, I'm gonna share with you right now, guys. Is oops, that's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to show you this. So if you guys want to actually see some of the shenanigans we got up to while we were in the Ukraine, then you can check out my second YouTube channel, which I just posted a link to in the chat. That is my vlog channel. It's gonna be a bit of rebranding going on soon, but basically I'll be dropping all of the kind of behind the scenes look into my life as we're traveling through the Ukraine and Romania on that channel. So jump on it now, subscribe, and check out some of the videos as they're dropping. You'll see quite a lot of we got some ridiculous things. Let's just say that much. And if you don't follow me if you follow me on Instagram, you'll be kind of aware of what I was getting up to already. But I was hanging out with the Tates and various other friends of ours, for most of that time in the Ukraine and in Romania. So I had a great time partying all across Eastern Europe with the Tate brothers. So I would agree with this, mate. KO says South American women are good too. I would agree with this. I haven't really experienced it to the extent that I did. Like you got to think of it this way. Like my last 3 weeks, it was just purely womanizing because I'm around boys who are doing that as well. So like when you're around guys who are about it, when you're around men who are getting laid, who are trying to set up dates, who are trying to who are like, we're going to the club tonight, we're doing this, it makes you work more towards that goal yourself. So it kind of helps you, eggs you on. So that was kind of like a real key focus. And you're kind of like, it's kind of like it's almost competitive too. Like you don't want to be the guy who doesn't rock up to the club with a date. It's like, all right, my boys have got, stuff going on tonight. I'm going to prove that I can do it too. So it kind of eggs you on and helps you that way. So that's why I got a lot of experience during this time. When previous times when I've been in South America, I've mainly been traveling, exploring the country, seeing stuff, like being a kind of a tourist and focusing less on, getting my dick sucked. So I do want to spend some time in South America focusing on that and then give your feedback on that as well. We'll do that another time. The reason Stirling isn't attractive to Asians is because Vikings don't like samurais. Sure. Yep. Child sports the devil. Yep, cool. Yeah, Pablo, this is kind of where I'm leaning towards for guys in terms of life advice, I guess. The USA is a sex training field. You get the skills, then you leave, and if you can, because this thing, man, if you can get laid in America, especially these days, like I know it's a bit easier to sleep with Western women, but what I will say, actually, I'll save this for later because this is a really, really important point I wanted to make about the comparisons between American and Western women. So I'll save that. I'll bring this point up, but I'm just going to crack through the chat here. How long will this easiness last? Or will it spread globally? I really hope it doesn't spread globally, man. I don't like the Americanization of other cultures. I hate it. Honestly, I hate it. Keep America American, man. Stop spreading that shit everywhere else. Hopefully, everywhere else is smart enough to see that it's collapsing and they resist it. Hopefully, the rest of the people, at least Eastern Europe, is smart enough to see America fucked up here with all this feminism bullshit. We don't want any of that. So, halt. I really hope. Yeah. The downside of settling with American ones, they don't cook and clean. They don't cook and clean unless you instruct them to, Benny. You have to train them. This is an argument that guys make. Like, there's a lot of like nostalgia, kind of like nostalgic thinking in this men's space, where they look at women in from like the 1950s and 1940s housewives, and they think, oh, women were pre-made. They came pre-packaged with like society taught women how to be women, and they taught them how to be good housewives, and I didn't have to do any work to kind of get them that way. Maybe that was the case. I don't know. I wasn't alive then. But guys sort of bemoaning, oh, American women don't cook and clean. Well, yeah, because you've trained them that they don't need to. Like, my girls cook and clean for me here. They're American. Like, when I get my girls around there, I'm telling them to do stuff. You know, like you have to lead. You have to tell her what she's not. You can't expect her to be a mind reader, and especially in America, you can't expect her to, like, to have been taught how to be a good woman, because feminist society teaches her the opposite. So you have to teach her how to be good for you. You can't expect her to come, prepackaged like that. So if she ain't doing that shit for you, it's your own damn fault. And I've made that mistake in the past, in past relationships. I'm guilty of that. I'm not sitting here pretending I'm perfect and I've known this stuff my whole life. I'm figuring out a lot of this stuff myself now, but at least I'm making it work, and I'm not sitting there complaining about it. So I've made the mistake in the past where I didn't have expectations of my woman, and she became lazy and she didn't do shit. I've corrected that mistake now with the women I date now, and they do things for me. So it's doable, Sean says hi from South Africa. Hello, Sean. Good to see you. Let's keep going. I've heard Russia's full of feminazis. I hope not. I really hope not. Is Turkey Eastern European? I think Turkey would count as culturally. I think Turkey would kind of count as Middle Eastern because it's a Muslim country. Hey Danny, good to see you in the chat as always, my man. As always, yeah, it's been a while since I've done a live stream. I've been busy. I've been a bit busy, but it's always good to catch up with you guys in the chat. That's why I'm spending so much time in the chat, making sure I read your comments, because I haven't been on a live in a while, and I want to make sure you guys get the time and attention you deserve for for supporting me and being here live. Good question, Ryan. Do you pull the porn star card on chicks, or is it a turn off? I actually don't even mention it. If they discover it through like Googling my name or through going through the Instagram link, like through the link in my Instagram bio, then they'll figure it out eventually. But it does not help at all. In fact, it kind of creates this. It does two things, right? One, it either knocks girls completely off the fence because they're like, oh, I can't handle the fact that this guy gets paid to sleep with other women. So they can't even accept it. It's like too much pre-selection. It's overly pre-selected already. Or the second thing it does for them is they get this sort of combative game in their head of like, oh, I'll be the one that doesn't sleep with him. And it kind of puts them, they put on this stupid fucking, fake dom kind of front, like fake dom, fake cock teasy kind of front. And I fucking hate that shit. I hate the games. I want a feminine woman. If you're gonna play that shit, get the fuck out. Like, I don't care. I will happily turn down sex rather than put up with your bullshit. So yeah, it doesn't actually help. It helps if I'm trying to sleep with a porn star, sure, because I'm pre-select, because then I'm vetted and I'm in the industry. But other than that, it doesn't really help. All right. CD Cooper. Backlund Bob enjoyed the Madison video. Glad you enjoyed that. It was one of my best interviews on this channel. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. My interview with Madison from the dating company that shall not be named, because that is apparently bad on YouTube now. Let's keep going. Pumpkin seeds from Nero. Glad to hear it, my friend. If you know what I'm talking about. If you don't know what I'm talking about, then scroll through on my YouTube channel for a video on pumpkin seeds. Do-do-do. Will Andrew Tate become Muslim? You'll have to ask him that. Cronky, here's a piece of advice for everybody. This kind of a question. Hey, can I ask? Basically, he's saying, hey, Stirling, can I get your opinion on something? He's basically saying, hey, can I ask you a question? Let me tell you guys one thing right off the bat. This is the worst way to ever ask somebody a question. Ever. Two reasons for this. One, it's wasting my time because you could have just asked the question and I would have read the question and I probably would have replied to you by now. But I'm making a point now instead of you. Making an example of you instead, Cronky. Two, in my background, being that I have a lot of gay fans, being a straight male porn star, you get a lot of gay fans. I get a lot of dudes fucking sending me DMs and shit, my Instagram, my Twitter, whatever. And women have the same response as me to this question. When I see this question, actually, typically dudes ask it, hey, can I ask you a question? Typically, that's how they ask it, rather than get your opinion on something. But when you see somebody say, can I ask you a question? We immediately assume the question is going to be creepy and perverted in some way. We immediately assume that. So don't ask that question ever. It's a stupid way to ask a question. Just ask a fucking question. All right? Always Soldier On said, what was it like to party with the Tate brothers? Fucking amazing. Yeah, you can't beat it. It is the peak human experience, my friend. The peak human experience. These boys know how to live. We're very happy to call them close friends of mine, especially now. We're very close. Yeah, they are a lot of fun. They're very genuine. They are everything they say they are. They're not everyone. There's a lot of people on the internet who try to shit on the Tates, who try to say they're fakers and they're posers. These guys are not faking shit. They are not faking a goddamn thing. They are the real deal. Yeah, and very honored to call them my friends. Alpha Golf Bet says, if you dick a woman like Stirling shows, they're going to be ready to follow your lead. Then it's up to you to do that. Exactly. Yes, a good follow up to my previous point. If she ain't doing what if she's not cooking and cleaning and stuff, it's A, because you're not dicking her down right, so she's not getting into a submissive feminine frame enough, or B, you're not instructing her telling her what you want. You're expecting her to do it. Harry Zikos, good to see you, my man. How is Romania? Romania is fucking awesome. Dude, Romania is like a hidden gem. I couldn't believe how good Romania was. Let me give you a really good example, a really quick story to illustrate how amazing and how safe and how good a society Romania is. Here's a perfect example of it. We went to Dracula's castle, the tourism spot, like Vlad the Impaler's castle in Transylvania. Okay, we're hanging out there. It's obviously lots of tourist spot. There's lots of food stalls. There's lots of like trinket stores and knickknacks and toys and stuff for the kids. Right? We come across this one store. There's multiple little stores just like the one I'm about to describe to you, and it's all these like cuddly teddy bears and things like kids' toys, and then a table in the same store covered in knives, like switchblades, butterfly knives, like knuckle dusters with a knife attached. Just there, open in a kid's store in a packed market. Those things are like totally illegal in Australia, totally illegal in England, probably illegal in America, I think. But that's a testament to how well-functioning Romanian society is. The idea of somebody taking that knife and doing something dangerous with it to other people there is so beyond their perception of what would happen in their society. Because it's just everyone, because they're all Romanian, they all trust each other, they all respect each other, they all believe in the same things, they all share a common identity and a common cause. There's no conflict. So, of course, it's fine for you to sell like a knife to a kid or whatever in this open market where tourists are, because no one's going to do shit. That doesn't even register as a possibility there. That's the sign of a really safe, healthy society. And okay, sure, there's corruption in Romania. cool. But at least it's accessible to everybody. At least everybody can bribe the cops there. Unlike in America, where the corruption is only accessible to the top tier of society. Yeah, but thumbs up for Romania, man. Like, I have nothing but good things to say about Romania. Yeah. Yes, I agree. Lithuanian women are fucking stunning. Albanian women, I don't know. Romanian women are also very beautiful. I would say Ukrainian women are even more beautiful than all these combined. Yeah. And then they convinced me to buy a car. Yeah, kind of. Yeah. Yeah. Shit. Let's crank through. How did that sparring match with Tate end? It ended up with me getting the shit kicked out of me because he's a 4-time kickboxing world champion and I'm not. But it was a very good lesson. I was learning. Like, he wasn't trying to beat me up. He was teaching me while he was sparring me. Cool. All right, let's try to catch up with as much as I can. Cool. Knife fights are for Italians. Yeah. And if you guys want, one more time, in the chat right now is the link to my other YouTube, my second YouTube channel. If you want to see all the footage from all the fun adventures we were going on in the Ukraine and in Romania, then check out that channel. The videos will be up in the next few weeks, so you can go check them out and see what I'm talking about. Thank you, sir. You're a completely badass. Oops. Can the younger Tate also fight? I think you mean Luke. Luke can definitely fight. Luke is a good fighter. Yep. Yeah, that's correct, Danny. They're still civilized, in fact. Yep. Yep, that's absolutely right. Yep. So, where was I going? Well, there was a point I was going to make before comparing. Okay, we're back on topic. Comparing like Eastern European women to American women. So, one of the things I was going to mention is, so we talked about that they sort of there's a default level of respect given to men in Eastern Europe. We talked about that women aren't really trying to like start a career and work all the time and go and they're hung over all the time. Like Western women, they're sitting around like waiting to be asked out on a date. And even the hot women are out and about. They're putting themselves out in the open to be approached. One of this is what I was trying to get at. So American women, right? They demand like a higher. Yes, American women are kind of easier to sleep with, but they demand a higher level of game from you than Eastern European women. American women demand you to be like smooth verbally and have all these cool lines and say cool shit and funny shit and keep like play these fucking verbal games with them. Eastern European women don't really care. Like you don't need that. And here's an example of what I mean. Like the language barrier didn't fucking hurt me at all. If anything, it helped because I didn't have to say as much. You just say you can say a couple of really simple, cheesy lines and they fucking love you. And I mean this literally, like cheesy shit goes down really well with Eastern European women. Telling them they're beautiful is not a simply bad move in Eastern Europe. In America, bitches are so fucking jaded and they're so like, in Western society in general, they're so feminized. Not so feminized. They're so masculinized. They're so combative. They're so like they've got so much this feminist bullshit drilled into them, and they don't want to be objectified. That telling a woman she's beautiful works against you, typically in America, right? Or at least on the first date, on the initial interaction, it's typically a bad move in Western society to lead with you look beautiful. You're beautiful. In Eastern Europe, that shit works fantastic. They love it. They love all the cheesy shit. You tell them you look beautiful. You say shit like, we're gonna get married and run away together. You tell them you're gonna have 10 sons from me. That's fucking something I stole off tape. You just tell these bitches they're like, how many sons can you give me? And they fucking love that shit. Like they like you buying them a rose and giving them a rose. It actually it's not in America. You do that for a chick. She's like. She'll smile, but in her head, she's thinking, oh, this guy's a simp. I can extract money from this guy. In Eastern Europe, you do that. You buy a chick a rose and give it to her. she just melts into your arms. They love all the romantic, cheesy shit. And this is what I mean when I say it's easier there, because you don't have to put in all this work and play all these games. I mean, yeah, I'm a high value dude. I'm in shape. I've got my money on point. I know women. Like, cool. I've got all these things handled. So that is in my favor, yes. But I have that in the West as well. And it's I still have to work here in the West. There, it's like, okay, and you could make the argument, yeah, it's like an economic arbitrage thing. Yeah, I'm obviously higher value because I'm a Westerner. Okay, you could make that argument, sure. But even then, like, it's a simpler game. Because I know dudes who are like, you know, really have their shit together here in the West, who are far better off than I am, and they still have to put in game. They still have to throw out verbal stuff. Otherwise, they get taken to the cleaners. They get taken advantage of, and they end up becoming a simp. So you can't avoid it, really. So they love all the cheesy shit in Eastern Europe. It works in your favor. It makes the game so much easier. And this is what I'm saying when it's like women fall into the natural feminine, men fall into the natural masculine, and it just works. There's none of this combative bullshit. It's like, we're here to, you know, we have men and women have certain roles. We both understand what those roles are. I'm going to lead. You're going to follow. I think you're beautiful. You think I'm, you know, whatever, attractive in whatever way men are attractive. And it's like, they understand that, and they fall into that role. They fall into that submissive feminine role, and everyone's happy, and it just fucking works. So like, it was just this weird, like, when I saw, because like, all this stuff about the cheesiness and like telling a girl she's beautiful, buying her a rose, like taking her out on a coffee date, leading, always being the one leading the interaction. That's a big one. I'll get on that in a second. I was taught all this by my friend's basically long-term girlfriend, because she's Ukrainian. So she's very red-pilled. So she was telling us all the download information, all this sort of insider information, kind of betraying her own kind. And I was like, bullshit. And then I did it. And I was like, holy shit, this actually works. If I just tell a girl she's beautiful, I tell her to be a good girl, I tell her I'm going to wife her up, I tell her, like, we're going to have kids together, she, like, falls for me, and then we have sex, and we're still talking. But it was, I couldn't believe how fucking easy. Not easy, but simple. It's not complicated. That's probably a better way of saying it. It's not complicated. It's not necessarily easy, because if you don't have your shit together, she ain't going to give you any attention. And that's the other thing. So the big thing with Eastern European women is you have to lead the whole thing. So you've got to, you have to make the decisions, obviously. You have to know where, you've got to plan, you've got a place to go take her for a coffee, place to go take her to dinner. You're leading the interaction the entire time. You're holding her hand, literally leading her around. You can't expect an Eastern European woman to escalate on you physically at all. You have, like, a Western woman, that's a pro-con to give you there as well. A Western woman, yeah, she'll give you something. She'll escalate on you physically a little bit. If she likes you, she'll give you some physical, like, attention back and forth. Because she's not really afraid of being perceived as a slut in the West. In Eastern Europe, they are afraid of being perceived as a slut. So if you have to be the one pushing the physical escalation all the time. And, which was a new thing for me, because I'm used to getting something back from Western women. But in the East, it's like, okay, or Eastern Europe, rather. The piece of advice my friend's girlfriend told me was like, look, on the approach, like when you're first initiating with a girl, if she's not interested in you at all, she has a boyfriend as a partner, or is just not interested in you at all, she will literally just ignore you and walk away. It's easy. It's so simple. It's not even really a rejection. She won't even entertain. She won't take any of your time up. She won't even entertain your attention, which is a really good thing. It's a sign of a good woman, by the way. If she's got a man and she ain't even entertaining the attention of other men, that's a sign of a really good woman. So there's that to start with. And then, if she likes you, she's going to sit there and listen to you. Yeah, you have to put more effort in on the front end yourself, whereas a Western woman will kind of give you the banter back and forth a bit. But honestly, because you can do all the cheesy shit, it's actually easier. It's much, much simpler. Like, okay, I have to do the majority of the talking and the leading. And even then, I don't have to do much talking. I just have to do leading. Hey, you're cute. Let's get a coffee. Walk her to a coffee shop. Boom, done. So there's that kind of level of simplicity to it. But then when it comes to like escalating towards sex, she doesn't want to look like a slut, so you have to sort of escalate it the entire way. And she will tell you no if she doesn't want to go there and stop. But if she's complying with you, then it is a green light. It's basically the way my friend's girlfriend explained, the way Ukrainian women work and operate, and also Romania. This applies to Romanian women as well. The rules were applied the same. So your game is a little bit different in Eastern Europe to what it is in the West. So we talked about we talked about having to push the interaction physically. You have to pay for everything in Eastern Europe. That's the guy's role. You're paying for everything. That's fine because what you do. It's like the economic arbitrage works in your favor if you're coming from the West. So paying for everything isn't a big deal. But you cut like you want to pay for it because you're enjoying your interact. Like because they're so feminine and they're in their role and they're not combative. They're not giving you bullshit. You don't even feel taken advantage of. If you pay, like there was like one or two girls I interacted with that I didn't have sex with. Cool, whatever. But I didn't feel bad or bitter because I'm like, oh well, whatever. She was very feminine. She was protecting her femininity. I know and that's the difference. I know that the women who didn't give me sex, right, in Eastern Europe when I'm interacting with them, taking them on a night out, whatever. I know that she isn't giving sex to other dudes because of the culture, because of the. They're a lot more chaste there. They conserve their value. So I'm not getting bitter and butthurt about it. I'm like, oh, whatever, cool. Didn't happen. But I still liked her company. I enjoyed her femininity. I had a great time. In the West, it's different because I know the bitch is fucking some dude's dick. So if you don't suck my dick, I'm like, you fucking think you're better than me? Fuck you. There's a little bit of bitterness there because I'm like, fuck, she's sucking some dude's dick because she's American, so I know she is. So you kind of feel played in America when you don't get anything in return for your time and your energy and your money, especially. So there's that. It's funny that it creates that kind of dynamic where I actually want to spend money on women in Eastern Europe and take them out. No, Stirling's a simp, whatever. But it's the role. It's because they understand their feminine role. I understand my masculine role as the provider and the protector. Cool, we get it and we enjoy it. Whereas in the West, they're kind of combative with you. They want to make their own money, but they still want you to take them out. They're not going to be submissive and feminine and follow your lead, but they still want you to pay for them. It's like, come on, bitch, what do you want? Accept your role or not. So there's that. I will say, like off rip, like Ukrainian or Eastern European women, Ukrainian and Romanian women, way more obedient, way more loyal. Like I'm still talking to girls there. They ain't fucking around. They're like, all right, we had sex. I'm your girl now. Like when can I see you again? Blah blah. There's yeah. And it's not, it's even funnier. They're also a lot more receptive to you being unfaithful, oddly enough, as well. Like I had girls that would saw me pulling other girls away from them, and then they still met up with me again, after that for a date themselves, because they want a shot at the title, and they understand that a dude who's got his shit together is hard to find, and they understand that they're competing for a place. It's so it's like I said, it's so much simpler. So much simpler out there than it has ever been here in America. One other real big thing I'll mention here. Okay, here's a pro for American women. I'm not going to spend the whole stream shit on American women. They're much better in bed. They're much better in bed because they've had a lot more sexual experience. Those two things just go hand in hand, I'm afraid. So I know that the girls I was sleeping with, like these 19-year-old girls I'm sleeping with in the Ukraine, are very inexperienced sexually, have not had a very high body count because they're shit in bed. They're and I'm a guy who slept with lots of different women from all kinds of body count ranges. So I know they're low body count because they're just bad in bed. So that's the trade-off you have to make. Okay, cool, whatever. But if you have a girl who's good and loyal, you can train her up to be good in bed. You can train her up to please you specifically. So it just takes more time. Now, like I said before, language barrier wasn't really that big of a deal, and Google Translate is actually pretty fun. That's one thing that's also something you can kind of flip in your favor, is you can use Google Translate to have a lot of fun interactions with a woman, because it creates this element of suspense. Like, what is he saying? And you're sitting there typing on her phone, whatever, to translate, to say something funny to her, She has to wait and anticipate, and it just adds more emotion to every single thing you say between each other. And then you can have funny interactions where it's like the things don't translate properly. It's kind of funny. So don't fear the language barrier. I will say that, gentlemen. Don't fear the language barrier. And most people out there speak English anyway. English is like the universal kind of language these days. So they're not, I think I mentioned this before, but they're not ruined by university out there. Yes, some girls are going and studying, but in America, it's kind of like the default for a girl to try and go to university and try and get a degree and blah, blah, blah. And anyone who has their head switched on knows that universities are like an indoctrination factory for feminism and all this kind of social justice warrior bollocks. So they're not getting brainwashed for like 4 years like they are in America. So you don't have to undo all this bullshit programming, right? You're not working against and competing against all this bullshit programming like you are in the West. In the East, they just want to get married and have kids. And here's one last thing I'll say here. When I'm comparing these two things, is this massive thing that is in your favor is that their passport is shit. So Ukrainians, Romanian passports are pretty shit. They can't really go to like Western. It was harder for them to go to Western countries. They can go to other places. They can go to places like Dubai. And Dubai is a rich city. There's a tremendous amount of sex work going on in Dubai, despite the fact that it's a Muslim country, a Muslim place. But their passports don't let them easily travel to Western countries. And why is that important? Because Western countries fuck women up. That's why. That's why I'm saying, like, if any of the dudes who are listening to this video, if you want to find yourself a good Eastern European woman, don't bring her to the West. Don't. It'll fuck her up and ruin her. Because the environment here is the opposite of what you want. It teaches her the complete opposite all the time of what's happy and simple and a natural male-female dynamic. So their passport being shit is actually a massive benefit for you because it keeps their culture non-American. It keeps them non-Americanized, I will say. What else did I have? I'm reading off my notes. I had a bunch of notes here. Yeah. The other thing you should be aware of, let's add one more con into the Eastern European side. So, I'm being kind of fair and balanced, is you have to be aware for like scams and be on the lookout for like prostitution and potential like pimps and stuff. You do have to have your head switched on. If you think you're going to go out to Eastern Europe as some ignorant American and pick up the girl of your dreams, you're going to get fucking scammed and you're going to be putting yourself in a dangerous situation. I'm not going to lie. You have to have your head. You have to be savvy, like street smart. Have your head switched on, and be aware. Be on the lookout for that stuff. And it's okay. It's like, all right, this girl over here. She's obviously a working girl. All right, fucking let's move along. There's plenty of girls here. We're gonna you just got to be aware of how to vet them out. Even on the dating apps and stuff, you got to be aware of how to vet them and be like, all right, discard this one. We move on to this one. Let's try and catch up on the chat here a little bit. There's a lot here. Oh, we got a couple of super chats that I missed out. Let's scroll on down. Ooh, excuse me, sort of not done that into the microphone. Thank you, Moses Rivers. Like the video. Thank you very much. It's the first time I've said to smash the like button. So there's 187 of you motherfuckers watching right now. Hit the goddamn like button because I'm dropping some fucking golden information on you. This could be life-changing. If you're watching this whole thing, this is life-changing information for people, especially for Western men. If you're like sick and tired of all the bullshit in America, I'm giving you hope. Okay, is that not worth a like? I think it's worth a like. What's your view on your decreasing ability to pair bond after having many sexual partners? I think there's studies to back up that hypothesis. Yeah, that basically like the more it decreases their ability to pair bond with you. Yeah, and I've seen this evidently. Like the women who I've been sleeping with in Europe, who clearly have low body counts, are pair bonding, and yeah, it's self-evident. Uh, next time, so I sparred with Khabib, he wiped the floor with me, but it was a good lesson. That would be a good lesson, Pablo. It would be. Look, if you fight with a guy like that, and you're obviously not a fighter, not an experienced fighter like him, he's not going to try and beat you up for his ego. He's going to actually try and teach you. Yeah. Important question. You know, Myron talked about how women aren't dominant by pleasure. Can you explain? I don't understand your question. Aren't dominant by pleasure. I'm not sure what that means. Oh, I think what you mean is they're not. They don't get pleasure being a dom. I think that's what you mean, and that is absolutely the case. My friend was dating, was seeing a professional dominatrix, like as in, you know, not seeing her like a client, but like she's his one of his girlfriends, and she's a professional dom, and I've had this exact same experience. Manhandled the shit out of her. And she loves it because most men she interacts with are pussies relative to her. I've dated girls who were professional doms myself. It's the same thing. I am Australian, my friend. I'm Australian. Salute from Alex E for the $10 super chat. Thank you very much, Alex. Much appreciated, my man. Much appreciated. Got any advice to get over my ex? Blocked her everywhere, but she still gets on my mind. All the great sex and the good times we had. It's been 3 months. You're from Bulgaria. The solution to that, my friend, is to go out and have sex with 10 different women. Get laid by 10 new women. After 10 women, if you still are thinking about this one chick, I will be very surprised. Yeah, just go out and get laid. That's honestly, that's the solution. That's how you get over an ex. As a man, that's how you get over it. I do not put shrimp on a Barbie, Bulldog. I do not put shrimp on a Barbie. Yeah, exactly, Pablo. That's the thing. Imagine opening with "How many kids can you give me?" and the girl responding favorably. It's a beautiful thing. It is a beautiful thing. That's what I'm trying to tell you guys. I'm like, it blew my mind. I was like, how is this so simple? This is what the world was supposed to be like. This is what Europe used to be like. This is what Western Europe used to be like Spain and France and Portugal and these kind of places. It used to be the same. And then it got fucking ruined by basically like feminism and like all this identity politics crap that we've got going on now. Basically like neo-Marxism going on right now, which is fucking up male-female dynamics. I'm glad you mentioned that, Pablo, though, because this is something I wanted to say as well. Here is if there's one takeaway, like it sort of encapsulates this dynamic between the two different countries or two different areas, right? It's this one, right? If I tell a Ukrainian woman or a Romanian woman that she's my wife and I want to give her 10 sons, I want her to give me 10 sons, she giggles and loves it. If I tell an American woman I wanted to be my wife and give me 10 sons, she gets repulsed. I mean, not all of them. If you play it off right, if you do it funnily, sure. But the idea in general of her not being able to run around and get dicked down endlessly is like, why would I want to commit and settle down? So that's a pretty good encapsulation of this idea. Yes, I did. Danny, I did meet up with Joe Lanton. We actually sparred. We boxed when I was in Tate's living room when I was over there. Good man. He's got a good right hand. I'll tell you that. I'll tell you that much. Curious about your opinion on body count contrary to your career path. See, this I get this question a few times. I've gotten this question a few times before. My body count doesn't matter, mate. It's her body count that matters. Men and women are different. Men and women think differently, have different motives, have different drives, and so it's perfectly okay for men and women to be held to totally different standards because we are totally different. We have different roles, so it is totally fine for us to be held to completely different standards. So me having a high body count as a man, in fact, makes me more valuable. Makes me a better lover. Makes me understand women more, understand their sexual nature and their sexual drives and their sexual desires way more, it's proof that I am like a good product on the sexual marketplace. Right? What's the analogy that Myron Gaines uses? He says something like, a good key can open many locks, but a lock that is opened by every key is a shit lock. Right? So that's the perfect example of that analogy right there. Irish Alpha 82, the €10 super chat. Thank you very much, sir. He says, I dated a Lithuanian for 2 years. They can become very materialistic and entitled. Poland probably elected that super conservative government as a backlash against their woke dysphoria. I love what's happening with Poland. I think Poland are on the fucking right track. I might even move there. I like everything I'm seeing in Poland. Didn't know that about Lithuania. I'm curious, was she in Lithuania or was she in Ireland? Was she in the West? Because I feel like that's going to make a big difference. This is what I'm saying. You take a Eastern European girl and you bring her to the West, and surprise, surprise, if she becomes like more materialistic and more demanding and more cunty. It's the environment, man. It's the society telling her she can do that. You know, in Eastern Europe, man, I'm not encouraging this, but in Eastern Europe, husbands can beat their wives. I shouldn't be laughing at this, but they can. And it's like the women aren't like acting like cunts because the men can actually, like, men don't want to beat women up. And in the East, it's like, or in Eastern Europe, rather, in Ukraine, definitely in Russia, I think in Romania too. Like, it's the husband can, like, you know, slap his wife a bit if she acts like a cunt. I'm like, oh Jesus, you know, kind of. It seems to keep them in check a little bit. No, I'm not saying if it's right or wrong here or there. I'm just telling you what it is. Imagine, I like this. Imagine a feminine, fit female population that wasn't geriatric pregnancy age when sinking the ring. I wouldn't say this is not true. I wouldn't say Eastern Europe game is on easy mode. I don't want you to get that impression. It's not. It's simple. It's not easy. It's simple. It's not complicated. In the West, you have to play all these fucking games and shit, and it's like you have to spit all this verbal bullshit. You have to play games. You have to ignore blah, blah, blah. Like it's draining. It's work. In Eastern Europe, it's not easy because I have to, like, I'm a rare man. I'm not trying to blow my own fucking trumpet here, but I'm not a common, like, I'm not an average guy. I'm not a mediocre guy. I'm clearly like a top tier dude. So yeah, it's easy for me, but it's easy for me because it's simple. If that makes sense. Yeah. Yeah, exactly, Alex. This is what I'm getting at. I found Eastern European women in Southern California to be bitchy and entitled. Exactly what I'm saying. You got to keep them in their environment. You bring them out here, they're going to get fucked up. So, yep. Good question from the entrepreneur. Why are so many Eastern European females in the adult and red light industry? Because they're beautiful. That is the simple reason. Because okay, so you get a lot of Hungarian and Czech women entering in the porn industry. And you actually probably get a fair few Romanian and Ukrainian women who end up becoming prostitutes. Prostitutes in Dubai and in England. But it's plain and simple because they're beautiful, and two, the economic, like the monetary incentives are worth it for them. So they know. Like, so I think my friend Tristan Tate said this. There's Eastern European women they've got a reputation for being for choosing careers as prostitutes. What you got to understand though is there's no in between. So Western women will fuck around just for the sake of fucking around. In Eastern Europe, they're like, okay, I'm either going to be a whore and monetize it, or I'm not going to be a whore, right? So they either pick the career path where they can monetize being a whore, or they're loyal, faithful, and chaste. There's really not many girls in between that. In the West, it's primarily all girls in between that. So that's the big difference right there. I know. I'm in Poland, and I feel like Polish women are slowly becoming westernized. Immigrant Ukrainians and Belarusians are helping to keep the standards high, though. Good. Keep those Ukrainians and Belarusians in there. They're good. They're good seeds, especially the women. Yeah, still definitely better than the West, though, probably. I only visited Odessa. That's the only place I went in Ukraine. So, yeah. Yes, reminder, Ryan A, hit that like button. And while you're there, don't forget to subscribe to my second YouTube channel, which is my vlog, which will have all the footage from my fun European adventures. That is in the chat right now. Go jump on that, open up a new window, go there and subscribe to that, and stay and hit the notification bell so you see all the videos when they come up. Yes. It's interesting. Feminism is on the rise in Polish women. Patriarchy is the new big word in Polish media. See, I'm maybe it's a backlash. I don't know. Like the Polish prime minister seems like he's fucking based though. So hopefully he's stamping that shit out right now. Yeah. Yeah, Spain. I don't have very good things to say. Unfortunately, Mojo Jojo on Spain, man, it's pretty Western. It's the women aren't that beautiful. Unfortunately, man. Sorry. Ricky Walsh, I'm the spitting straight facts. Thank you very much, sir. Oh, there you go. Romania is in the EU, so they can travel easily. I didn't know that. Yeah, there you go. Ukrainians definitely can't, though. Yeah. Oh, yeah, here we go. MLD says that about Japanese chicks that have been in LA. Yep, I agree. Once they're westernized, they're fucked. Yeah. Yep. Where did we get to? There was a couple more things here. Was I worried about the Chernobyl radiation? No, I was not at all worried about the Chernobyl radiation. In fact, I think that's probably worth the risk. Like, go to Chernobyl and get yourself a village girl is worth the risk of getting a little bit of radiation exposure. I think the benefits far outweigh the risks. Let's just say that. Yes. Yeah, here we go. It's a good example. Yeah. I'm Polish and girls from cities are being westernized, but village girls dream of the traditional house. Yeah, it's the village girls. I mean, it's the same with fucking anyway, man. Like, the girls are born and raised in a city that are city girls are unfortunately not the ones that are really going to be like super long-term, good super long-term choices, unfortunately. Yeah. Anyway, one more time in the chat here is the link to my second channel, my blog channel, where I'm going to be posting a whole bunch of my the BTS and the well, like not behind the scenes, but like in front of the camera footage from my travels in Eastern Europe. So hell of a lot of fun, very funny shit we got up to with the Tate brothers and me and my friends. Highly recommend you check those things out. As always, thank you for tuning in. This has been hella informative. You're welcome. I'm glad it was good to come back to such a big crowd for my live stream. I haven't been on live in a while, so I'm very, very appreciative of those of you who tuned in. Hit the like button. Subscribe if you're new to the channel, of course. And I'll see you guys next time.